Welcome to Vivegam Week Plus. In the last video class, we have discussed about functions of money. Today, we are going to discuss about functions of commercial banks and central bank. What is commercial bank? Have you ever been to bank? Yes, you might have gone with your parents. Why do we go to the bank? Yes, to deposit the amount. Who deposit the amount? Only those who have surplus money deposit the amount in the bank. Once we deposit the amount, the bank offers rate of interest. Only for this purpose we are depositing? No. The another one is for the safety also we are depositing the amount. Yes, what do the banks do with the deposits? What do the banks do? The banks advance loans to the borrowers. So who are the borrowers? Those who are in need of fund are called borrowers. And do you know the different varieties of accounts? Yes, there are three types: current account deposit, savings account deposit and fixed account deposit. What are the variations among these accounts? Yes, the current account deposit does not carry any interest because we can withdraw at any time. There is no restriction for withdrawal of money. But in the case of saving account, there is some restrictions are there, and in the case of fixed deposit, and we can withdraw the amount only on maturity. These are the three types of accounts. Yes, now the bank advance loans to the borrowers. Do the bank provide loan as the entire amount of deposit? No. Then what do the banks do? The banks have to keep 20% of deposit as cash reserve with the central bank. So CRR is nothing but cash reserve ratio. So what are the two main functions of commercial bank? Only two. One is accept deposit. The second one is advance loans. So those who are surplus money, they deposit money in the bank. Those who are need of money, they take the loan from the bank, or we can use the word credit. But the credit is on the basis of the deposit. And if the bank creates deposit, not the entire amount, but it has to keep 20% of reserve with the commercial bank. Now we are going to credit creation by the commercial bank. How the credit is created, to what extent it is created. When the credit is created, automatically it increases the money supply in the economy. To over-lending, the central bank has created this CRR to avoid over-lending. The entire amount of deposit cannot be given as credit. Now next we are going to see about money multiplier. This credit creation is came to be known as money multiplier. There is one formula, that is initial deposit into 1 by CRR. Now I will give an example. If your bank has 1 lakh amount as deposit, so it has to maintain 20% of deposit has to be maintained with the central bank. So it has to keep 20,000. It can create credit up to the level of 80,000. When 80,000 is credited into the first borrower, then he can make credit from the 80,000. The bank has to keep 20% of this 80,000, and remaining 80% can be given as credit. So in this way, the credit is created in the economy. So finally, if he has 1 lakh, it can create credit up to 5 lakhs. If you substitute in the formula, we can get the answer 5 lakhs. If the initial deposit is 1 lakh, and if you use this formula 1 by CRR, CRR is equal to 20%, then you will get 5 lakhs. So the main function is only accept deposit and advance loans. These are the main functions of commercial banks. What is the main aim of commercial bank? Its aim is to earn profit. So how do you define commercial banks? Commercial bank is a type of financial institution. It performs two functions, that is advancing loans and accept deposit. Next we shall move on to the central bank. How do you define central bank? It is an apex bank. It has the sole authority to issue currency notes. In India, Reserve Bank issues currency, and there are three functions of central bank. The first one is bank of issue. What do you mean by bank of issue? Bank of issue refers to a bank which has legal authority to issue currencies. So in India, Reserve Bank issues currency. Other than this, central government can borrow from central bank. How do they borrow? When do they borrow? When does our government need money, central government? If there is any deficit. What is deficit? If the government expenditure exceeds revenue, it is referred as deficit. In such a situation, the central bank borrows from the central government borrows from central bank against securities. So this is the first function. And second one is banker to the government. Here the central bank acts as a bank to the government. What are the functions performed by commercial bank to the public? Accepting deposit and advance loan. In the same way, the central bank does the same function to the government. So we refer it as banker to the government. Here the government can keep the cash balance with the central bank on current account. The government can keep the cash balance with the central bank on the current account. At the same time, the central bank provides loans against securities, and also it acts as an advisor on economic financial matters. At the same time, it acts as an agent to collect taxes and other payment on behalf of the government. So we refer central bank as a banker to the government. And next one is bankers bank and supervisor. Why do we refer central bank as a bankers bank? Because it do some services to the commercial bank, and it acts as a custodian of cash reserve. Already I explained you, commercial banks have to keep certain percentage of deposit as CRR, isn't it? So now the central bank acts as a custodian of the CRR. So it is given as bankers bank. And next one, it is a custodian of foreign exchange reserve. And next one as a supervisor. Central bank supervise the functioning of commercial bank, because the commercial bank has to lend loans to the small borrowers, small cultivators. Then only there will be a development in the economy. So what? It supervise the function of the commercial bank, whether they are maintaining 20% deposit as cash reserve, whether they are giving loan to the small cultivators, and the commercial banks have to submit report to the central bank regarding to whom they have given rate of interest, at what rate of interest, and what amount is given. All the details have to be submitted by the commercial bank to the central bank. And the last one is the lender of the last resort. You know what do you mean by last resort? When the commercial bank face any financial critical position in the financial matters, when it couldn't get the financial support from any other sources, at this time the central bank helps the commercial bank. So we refer central bank as a lender of the last resort. The last one, we can say the three things is a custodian of CRR and custodian of foreign exchange earnings, or we can say foreign exchange reserve, and next one as a lender of last resort. The next one is supervisor, because as it supervises the functioning of commercial bank. Now we have discussed about functions of commercial bank and central bank. In the next video, we will discuss about the measures of central bank. Subscribe our channel for more videos. Thank you.